Shout, always Irish. Shout, always Irish. Shout. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State. It's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? It's a poison. I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing. Doing a damn thing. The call-in line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in, welcome back, folks, to a college football is just wild. It's wild. And I'm having this realization. The game's totally changed. It's a completely different sport now than when we all grew up, no matter what age you are. If you're 60, it was different. If you're 40, it was different. It's a totally different world now. It's never going back. And we just need to adjust to it and figure out where Notre Dame fits in it. It's wild. And when you sit here and look at this, all the portal stuff, all the movement, it's just wild. And I don't know whether this is just on me for being an old school guy looking at all these changes, like the old guy doesn't like any changes. But everything about it's different. How you build a team, it just doesn't feel like college football anymore. But this is the way it is. And Notre Dame's not going anywhere. Neither am I, neither are you. So we have to adjust and make the new world fit for Notre Dame. We can't just keep being us and then let it all go by. We got to try and shoehorn our values and the way we try and do things and all that and blend it with the new way to stay alive in all this. That's the only thing Notre Dame could do. And they're trying to do it. But it's hitting me this week with everything going on, just how much everything has changed and to what extent, particularly with team building. So there's just a lot going on. And I just, Luke Holtz, John building MF excuses. You are in your own mind. You are in your own mind and you have a narrative you want to push. And anytime I throw any line in the water that you could link to that and reel it in, you're going to do it. I have said repeatedly on this program, Marcus Freeman has to get better at his job fast. He has to make proper decisions. We're running out of leeway to make the wrong ones. He's got to tighten it all up or he's going to be in big, big trouble. And if you get the reference of the way I said that, it's obscure, but it's from a funny movie. Now you're all in big, big trouble. He's got to start tightening the operation. And he's got to start making the right decisions and getting this baby going. And next year is going to be very interesting. Your defense is going to be mostly new guys. I don't know. We got a lot going on. All right, I got phone calls. Here's the other thing I'm going to just tell you right away. I'm under the weather. I am not myself. I got it with one of them 12-hour flu bugs or I got food poisoning. I don't know what it is, but I'm not myself. I'll spare you the details. So give me a little grace today. I don't know if we're going to be able to go the full show I wanted to go. If I run out of here, it's an emergency you don't want to know about. Johnny's struggling, but the show must go on. Damn it. Thank you for being here. You can find a program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny as well. Notifications on it where you alerted every time something rattles around into John's head. Twitter, search bar Always Irish Rat. Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it. Call-in lines. Looks like people know the number. 312-988-15. Social media, Always Irish Inc. USA Today. You guys are hilarious. Writing in, how can you get food poisoning from a chicken nugget diet? I don't know what it was, bro. But it just hit like a freight train. I'm sitting there totally fine on the couch. It hit, and I'm like, bro, something's gone horribly wrong. Like all at 1 second it hit. Bro, I'm sweating. Like I'm shivering. I'm sweating. I got things wanting to come out here. I got things wanting to come out of the rear. Rough last 24 hours for John. I don't wish this on anybody, but there are worse things that could happen. All right. I'm alive. I'm in one piece for now, but it's been a rough scene and I don't like it. Patreon.com/Always Irish, myself and Michael Goolsby, captain of a Notre Dame football team, leading tackler on that team. I say it all to Eric, TMI. You know what I do. I tell you guys the truth about everything. I tell you the truth about everything, even when you don't want to hear it. Oh, this is off the rails, just the way I like it. Oh, boy. And I'm sure as I go through those details, it's a beautiful way to lead into my main sponsor here, the ND Subway alumni. Make sure you go here, get a looski, get your dad a Notre Dame shirt, get yourself an outfit, get yourself a looski. So the next time you're tailgating, stressing out before a Notre Dame game, you flip the thing, everybody gets a little juice, and it makes them all feel loose. All right? So that's the place to go. Perfect for Christmas, beautiful website design, and better than that, really nice people to work with. Okay, geez, everybody's saying I'm going to have a heart attack. Come on, you guys, give me a break. I'm hoping it was just a little food poisoning or a 12-hour flu bug or something. I don't know. All right, let me check these calls. I need to get to these calls. Let me do first. You guys have some good chats. There's something about this dynamic with this group. And I don't know what it is, but like I have all these things on my mind before I start these shows. And then a lot of times you guys text them, put them in the chat box. And it's good. It makes me think that we're like on the same page, or that if I'm crazy, I'm not the only crazy one when I see you guys do that. $10 holler from Eric. John, how about doing a special year-end show or a bowl game show with Andrew Gilmore, Happy's brother? Wicked smart. With the finer points of everything in college football, that'd make for a good one-time show. I would love to do that. Andrew deserves some credit for always being around. Always. Here and on Patreon, stirring it up, making us think of things. It's beautiful. $5 holler. Alternatively, a show with you, Pat, and him. Yeah, those guys could just go at it, I guess. Oh, if anybody... Come on. If anybody could lose three straight bowl games to Oregon State, it's Notre Dame. Come on, man. The ND media already hyping these Porto guys, bro. I've seen some of that. And it's interesting to me now because I have a direct line to Goolsby, and his only hobby is watching film. And he just loves it. Breaks down film. I'm bored, break down film. I'm bored, look at the recruits, break down the film. Look at the game, break down the film. And he has some differing opinions to what some of the beat guys have on some of these guys. Not all negative, but not all positive either. So he's being direct about it. So I don't know. People don't like that. They want all the transfers to be dudes. I get that. Matt Miller, Elko and A&M have hired Klein as their OC. They're going to be a tough team to play week one. I guess you got to hope they don't have it all put together then, right? Hope they don't have it all ironed out by week one. But that is really interesting. Former Notre Dame DC, and then the OC. I'm telling you guys, my phone blew up that day Colin Klein was supposed to get the Notre Dame offense coordinator job. I got a bunch of messages behind the scenes saying, John, get your show ready because it's going to be Colin Klein. Expect it. That should be done within a day or two. And it all blew up. It all blew up. Freeman's just as bad about spinning things that we've learned in the past weeks or straight up lie. Freeman tells us it's an honor to be in the Sun Bowl. I don't know how many times I have to tell people, you should not take anything said at a press conference from any coach for real. I can't believe people do. The only thing I would take out of any press conference from any football coach as 100% truth is if they tell you a guy's injured and out. Who's playing in the game, in or out? That's about it. Everything else is PR massaging. Okay? And it doesn't matter that it's Notre Dame. Oh, they got to tell the truth at the podium because it's Notre Dame. You're an idiot. Grow up. Grow up. None of these coaches tell the truth in a press conference. None. That's the job. Grow up. Grow up. Doesn't matter that it's little old Notre Dame and all Mary's involved, so the coach has to tell the truth. You're out of your mind. No. Then what happens is you end up in weird circumstances like we've been in for the last 2 weeks, and the guy gets caught up there with no good answers because there are none. Can't tell the truth, makes you look bad. Can't lie because people are going to find out. So you end up with coaches up there just trying to say whatever the hell they can to get through the moment. I have never understood how addicted to these press conferences fans are. You're not getting anything. I do not feel well enough to yell like that. Next year's going to be a rough one. Fighting for 9 wins, missing the playoff. Year after that could be better. All depends on if Carr is up for it as a freshman and who goes in the portal. Mikey, ain't nobody here for that, dog. I'm telling you, it's just the years are lining up. Nobody's here for that. You got to go 10-2. You got to figure out a way to go 10-2 next year at a minimum, man. You do. Andrew Gilmore. No one's talking about how much ND will likely need to replace on D. Mills, Cross, Baptiste. Yeah, it's going to be a youth. It's probably going to be a youth movement. Man, that's going to be interesting. Pat, taking a pulse of the fan base. Callers will go right to you. Taking a pulse of the fan base. Do we want Sam to play? Just a few weeks ago, a flood of calls of people posting about wanting Angeli and benching Artman. Mixed reports on Twitter still. He hasn't announced that he's not playing, but a bunch of other people have for him. It's whatever, dude. What do you get out of Evan Artman out there? I do not care. What do you get out of Evan Artman out there? You're not going to have a full team, like whatever. He's gone. The game doesn't move the needle. Who cares? Who cares? I don't care. I cared when I thought maybe Hartman could help us win against Ohio State and raise the roof of the offense and do all that. That didn't happen. It's over. I don't care. Bro, I just don't care if he plays or not. Let me see Angeli for half. Let me see Minchie the other half. I don't care. It's rough. $25 holler for the Rocket, I hope. An early solstice gift for putting up with all my old fart nonsense, because there's more to come. I wouldn't expect anything less, Doc. $5 holler. V1 rotate. Looks like Sam's sitting out. Unpopular opinion. Artman is the best quarterback we've had this century. It's a shame he had nobody to throw the ball to. I don't know. I expected him to be a little better. I expected him to be like the reason you're winning big games, or to like put the offense on his back and like just pull us forward a little more. But at the same time, he didn't have a lot to work with. It's a very tough dynamic. I don't know. V1, $5 outlet. Also, you're 100% right about what you said on Patreon. The administration has got to understand ND's nothing without the success football. A lot of people don't like it when I say that, but I mean it. They have an obligation. They have an obligation to make sure Notre Dame football has respect nationwide for being elite. It's an obligation. That elite football success early made all what Notre Dame is now possible. You do not get to just not honor that anymore now that you made it. And that's what it feels like a lot of times. So I don't know what to tell you. Couple things, then I'll get to the calls. Let you guys talk a little bit. Save my barf voice. All right. Here's one thing. And then I'll go to the callers. I'm going to throw this in the water, let you guys let it sit. Regarding Notre Dame and the portal and where we were at last week and all the stress and anxiety, I want to know, are you starting to feel a little better? Are you starting to feel better? Now that we're starting to gain people in the portal and not just lose them, I want to know if you're feeling a little better about this. Now that you're seeing it start to kind of balance back where you're losing guys, but you're gaining guys, and we're kind of moving on from the immediacy of last week. I'm wondering if you're starting to feel a little better and the edge is coming off there. Here's the other thing. What's up, local source? Here's the other thing. I spoke early about how everything's changing in college football and I got to get my old brain wrapped around it. Here's the thing. This just hit me. It just feels like gone are the days of building a team, sticking together for years, growing together through misery and pain and getting better and growing as a unit, wanting to win for each other and your school in the long haul of 4 or 5 years of that mission and that grind. That's all gone. Now, it feels like it's all about collecting as much talent as you can for 1 year at a time, rolling all your chips in the table 1 year at a time. Then that team's dead and gone, gets ripped apart, Geisley, and then you find other guys and you do. It used to feel like there's these like rolling 4-year windows of your guys for your team and guys, you knew their name and they develop, and it's like building all you can 1 year, tearing it all down, building it again the next year, 1 year, 1 year. These are all 1 year operations now. And that is just a different way than I've ever looked at college football. I loved the old days when people were playing for the letter on their shirt and defending the legacy of that school meant everything. Grinding with your guys for 4 or 5 years, protecting that school's logo and all that. Now it's just about like, where's my best NIL deal? I'm a free agent. Oh yeah, I'm at Ohio State. I like Ohio State. Then I'm here. I like that. It feels very, very professional. And it's hard for me to wrap my mind around. And so where does Notre Dame fit in this? Manny says, John, you're living in the past with that topic. I know. That's the problem. That's why I'm bringing up that I'm struggling with it. And where does Notre Dame fit in this? Now, I got to credit them for being really aggressive in this portal. There's been no waiting around. Like, I want to know, somebody type in the chat. Does it feel to you like Notre Dame's being extra aggressive this time around? It kind of feels to me like maybe Freeman's a little pissed off about what's going on. And the only productive way for him to express that is to work his ass off That's what I feel like I'm seeing. These guys did not waste any seconds in this portal. They're being aggressive. They're all over recruiting, regular recruiting, and they're doing the portal stuff. It feels to me almost like Freeman's pissed off behind the scenes at a lot of what's going on in the narratives, and the only way he could fix it is to work his ass off. That's what it feels like. And I like that. I like that. So I don't know. It's a changing world. Look at what we got. $10 holler from Mike. John, somehow, some way, the letter of intent needs to be penalized if a kid decides to leave whenever. Build in 3 requirements or you sit out a full year. Telling you, man, if you were going to do, thanks for the holler, if you were going to do the no sit out transfer, it needed to be you get to do it one time. Then if you want to do it again, you have to sit out a year. There's no guardrails, because now what it is just free agency shopping for the best NIL deal year to year. And so you have a guy looking to move each year to rack up the biggest money and just move around. That's not college football. You could call me an old geezer, whatever, the game's passed me by. That is not college football to me, where the good players just pass around to the biggest donor year to year. That's pro football. It's pro football. I don't know how you stop it. I don't know what you do. But Notre Dame's always going to be somewhat limited in this style because of the undergrad transfer thing. It does feel like they're starting to get a little leeway there. Maybe people realize that you're going to have to do this more. But Notre Dame's reticence to do that with the younger guys makes it a bigger challenge. So I don't know. But it's just kind of wild. And I welcome these guys that are going to be coming to Notre Dame with open arms. It just feels weird. And then the other thing, Mike Goolsby brings this up to me on Patreon all the time. He says, now he's a unique cat in his brain. Linebacker captain. He's wired a certain way, and that's why I love him. He's saying, John, if Sam Hartman came in here off the street when I'm busting my ass all these years as a loyal Notre Dame guy, Sam Hartman comes in here on a big NIL deal and gives me some Beats headphones. He's going, I'm not taking that shit. Screw you. Like, that's what he's like. That would rub me the wrong way. That I'm in here busting my ass, loyal to Notre Dame 3 or 4 years, and then they pay this guy. He comes in, he's a big shot, giving out gifts like Santa Claus when he has only been here 1 minute. That rubbed me the wrong way. But Mike also acknowledges he's an older school guy. And that a lot of the guys now won't have that mentality. It's like, you're here to help us. We're all better. Do what you got to do. Get your paper up, son. It's different times, man. Different times. Mike also talked about being glad the transfer thing wasn't around in his time because he was so frustrated freshman year or whatever, and hard with school and everything else. He would have considered maybe leaving if it was possible. And he's glad that it didn't happen. Like, there's just a lot that goes into all this. All right, let's get some calls in. First 4. 612, I got a 404, a 937, a 773. I'm going to get all of you right away. Dr. John, good morning. Thank you for the rocket donation.
Well, that's not the rocket donation. That's all my grandkids get for the holidays.
Oh, wow. Man, that's awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Take it right from them.
Well, before we get into common sense, how about some nonsense?
Oh, I'm good
you
at
remember
that.
Back when we lost to Clemson, we jokingly said maybe God was punishing us because we were taking such delight in Michigan's misery at the time?
Yeah.
You remember that?
I do.
All right. Well, here's some nonsense for you. I looked at the guys going into the portal, and apparently God's got it in for us again, because 7 of those guys said they prayed for a decision, and they're leaving. I mean, what are we to make of that?
That's funny, man.
How did we get on his bad side?
Dr. John, I'm telling you, people have a problem with all these guys putting on Twitter that they're leaving Notre Dame, and they all start with love thee and they end with love thee. And all the Twitter people are going, how much do you love thee if you're leaving ND and you're leaving me? How much do you love thee? Like, people are struggling with it. The love thee is driving people insane because all these guys tailor these messages for social media. And it love thee's always there. And all the fans are like, bro, how much do you love us? If you're leaving us, just tell us what's up.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You know what would really have been refreshing? What would have been refreshing to me if a guy like, say, Flores had just come out and said, hey, I came here because Coach Stuckey was going to groom me and was going to make me a better player. Now he's gone, so am I.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear something like that.
You know what? You never will. People want to take the high road. Here's what I think would be ironic. All these guys are putting out these carefully messaged with their agent, obviously. Their like paragraph of how they want to say it all. I just want a guy to just put, I am entering the portal. And that's it. Hit the tweet. And it's just this player's name and it goes, I'm in the portal. That's it. None of that. No paragraphs. Just telling you I'm in the portal. I don't know, yeah. Dr. John. It's a wild time. It's a wild time to be in a football. Yeah. It's everything's different. I got to get with it.
Yeah, well, everything's, I don't know about getting with it, but it's here, and you're gonna have to deal with it.
Yep.
Anyway, what's this thing about? I thought somebody in chat about Estime's not going to be in the bowl game.
Not going to be in a bowl game. Getting ready to protect his NFL future.
He said, I didn't see that, but he actually came out and said that, or somebody has said that's what he's going to do?
That's a good question. I was just counting on it no matter what, because he's going out and he's going to the league. He's going to be advised not to play in this game. I took that one for granted. He's going to be out. I expect both tackles to be out.
Yeah.
But the reason Hartman's going to be, I heard Hartman don't want to play one last game without both tackles. And so he's saying, if I'm not going to have both my tackles, I'm not trying to go out there, look like shit my last game and get my head cracked. So like you're just going to have a lot of new guys playing, Dr. John. It's going to be a weird bowl game. Very weird for both sides.
Yeah, well, I don't mind seeing some new guys play, but did you happen to see that interview Freeman had with Griffin III?
I saw a part of it, not all of it. I scrolled by it. What, did he say anything interesting?
Well, of course, Griffin was tooting his own horn a little bit, but he played in that last bowl game just because he felt he was obligated for his teammates.
Imagine that. What a wild concept.
Yeah.
That is a wild concept.
What happened to that concept anyway?
Money. Now, but John, I do understand though. If you're in the playoff,
I do.
Guys can't opt out. But like when you're in this bowl game and whatever, like I kind of get it because there's just not that much on the line. And it's unfortunate that we're in this position. I wish we were in a bowl game where guys had a really tough choice to make, or a playoff game where they're all going to play and go out on top. But we're not in that position. And then it all kind of just falls apart. That's the way this goes when you're not in games that matter. It's just the reality. Be in games that matter, and you wouldn't be in this position.
Well, if these current players were like a generation earlier, maybe two, I don't know, they probably would play in this game because they were growing up with Tony the Tiger.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great playing the Sun Bowl. It's great. Come on, man. And I was ready for the Pop-Tart, John. I went into the cabinet, made sure I had Pop-Tarts. So if we got in the Pop-Tart bowl Monday morning on the stream, I was going to eat my Pop-Tart and be like, do we know what bowl game we're in? As I finished my breakfast, I had a whole Pop-Tart routine ready.
Well, you can get yourself a box of Frosted Flakes now.
I know, but I just wanted to do the Pop-Tart thing for some reason.
It doesn't have the same cachet, does it?
Yeah, I wanted to have fun with the Pop-Tart. But so, John, how are you looking at this bowl game? This is going to be quite interesting. Both teams are in major transitions, major, and it's not going to look anything like what either side's used to. Here's where my brain's at. Let the young guys play your ass off, try and earn a starting role on next year's team. Go out there on fire and try and win this damn game. And I want the younger guys excited for their chance. Be out there with your hair on fire and just let it rip. That's all you could ask for, right?
Absolutely. I mean, to me, it's just a chance for, let's see some new guys in there, see what they can do. And maybe you're gonna find some gems that you didn't realize you had.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity. Look at it that way. It's a good opportunity. And younger guys are going to have to play, and I hope they're excited about it. They play with a lot of energy, and we find a way to win the game. It's just, John, I'm in a bad mood because I just wanted this year to be better than this. I wanted to be in a game at the end of the year that moves the needle, and it didn't happen. And now we have to deal with all these issues and the opt-outs, and they drew our name out of a hat to determine what bowl we're in. Like, that all just screams small-timey football, and I wanted us to be past that.
I agree with you. I was hoping too. And now you're looking forward to next year, and you say 10-2 is the minimum. How about 10-1?
Where's the other game going?
That's right. Have they filled it out yet? We only got 11 games scheduled.
I don't know. They better figure it out. I'm just saying, Dr. John, year 3, the first year of the playoff, everybody was frustrated. This year, everybody's going to want Notre Dame in that first playoff, and you got to be 10-2 to do it. And you have a tough game 1 right out of the gates. We're asking for a lot, but that's where we're at.
Yeah, well, we're speculating it's going to be a tough game. It's a whole new system, so
yeah, we'll see how quick. We'll see.
They may be in a little bit of disarray too.
That's what I'm kind of thinking. I understand Elko and I respect the hell out of them, but it's like, how much do you expect them to have everything all put together for week 1? Like, that's going to be the question. I have no doubt Elko's going to get it rolling, but it would be rare to me you could do it week 1 without mistakes and being a little out of sorts. And I need Notre Dame to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I hope so. Hey, has Leonard committed?
Not to my knowledge, but everything I'm hearing still sounds like that's the plan. Ohio State reached out to him, and it still seemed like he was Notre Dame. And I got that from an Ohio State source, not a Notre Dame source, that Ohio State reached out to his camp, and they were thinking it was all Notre Dame. So until I hear otherwise, that's what I'm thinking. Think he's on campus one of these days, Pat, right? Pat put in the chat.
Yeah,
he's on campus Thursday.
I thought I saw the 9th or something like that.
Yeah, maybe overlapping with some of those receivers that are there visiting. So until I hear otherwise, I think it's him. And he is 6'4", 215. That's a big boy.
Yeah, but I hope he's not coming in here with the same quote guarantee, close quote, that Hartman apparently had.
Yeah, I wonder about that too. Yeah, because there were, I don't care what anybody says, there were promises made to Hartman behind the scenes. There were. And so maybe that's different this time, and everything's a straight up competition, and we see what the young guys do.
Yeah, that would be nice. Say, regarding the portal, am I correct? Once you enter the portal, you can't play in the bowl game. Is that correct?
I don't know if that's a rule or not. But wouldn't it be weird that
I saw that someplace.
But even if it wasn't a rule, how can you be like, I'm looking to leave you guys, but I'm going to play for you till I find a better spot? Like, that's really awkward, is it not? Andrew Gilmore's saying Andrew Gilmore's saying that's not correct. So then if there's not a rule, if I'm a head coach, I might be like, screw you then, man. I don't know. Like, I'm looking, that would be like, Dr. John, that'd be like me being married, but on a dating app. And I'm like going out with my wife, but she knows I'm looking to replace her with something better, but we're going out like it's all fine now. It rubs me the wrong way. I don't know.
Well, there's a lot that rubs you the wrong way.
I don't know.
Excuse me. Yeah.
It's a wild, these are changing times, Dr. John. I'm out of touch.
It's crazy.
I'm out of touch, man. I can't keep track of it all.
Well, maybe Andrew's got an answer for this too. Okay, so you're in the portal and you've committed to another team. Can you play in the bowl game? In their bowl game? In other words, could Leonard play in our bowl game?
Oh man, I don't know the answer to that. Look at all these. look at how all of this complicates everything, man. Oh, it's so wild. It's so wild.
That's crazy.
No, the other one was, I believe CJ Carr is enrolling early, and then like he's gonna be around, and I don't know, John. It's just. I got to get up with the modern realities and then figure out how Notre Dame can maximize it within their value structure. That's what I've been thinking of the last day. How can we be in this game but not sacrifice our values and thread the needle enough to make it work? I don't know. That's the challenge for Notre Dame. How to be able to do all this and not lose your values and your sense of what made Notre Dame what it is, but get modern at the same time. That's a real challenge.
Well, maybe the new AD is going to have some ideas. I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so as well. So I don't know.
Okay, well, cut me loose and I'll watch the rest of the show and we'll see what happens.
Hey, it's always an adventure, Dr. John. Thank you for the donation there. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Happy solstice.
Thank you, my friend. See ya. Oh, that guy's a riot. 404, give me some more. What's going on?
Hey, John. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. You're coming through loud and clear now. What's up?
Not much. Hey, it's interesting, my thought process over the last couple of days is I'm all in on Freeman now. And ever since the Stuckey firing, I think that kind of solidified my judgment of him. And I know it sounds funny, but something obviously happened from his press conference on Monday to when he fired him on Tuesday. And, I know there's a lot of rumors out there of what could have happened and what couldn't have happened. And I don't want to get into all that. But it wasn't just development because he had seen development all summer and all fall. So something happened. It appears that after the situation where he talked to Tyree is kind of when it all went down after Tyree decided to transfer. So to me, I thought that was a good sign. Now, we still don't know about his in-game coaching. And then on the something that I was also thinking about on the quarterback transfers, I'm wondering, and again, this is probably a far reach, I'm wondering if he's trying to shield us from seeing Angeli because he knows in practice Minchie's probably the better quarterback. And if the fan base sees that, how many people are now going to just tell Angeli to get the hell out? Then you got to transfer. And if for some bizarre reason someone throws a bunch of money at Leonard and that transfer doesn't work out, you're down to 2 scholarship quarterbacks.
But I guess, what does Freeman get out of shielding which one might be better? How does that help him?
Because Angeli then doesn't transfer.
Oh, man.
Because the whole fan base isn't like, oh, Angeli's not the answer, Minchie's the answer. So it puts more pressure on Angeli to think, oh, hell, I'm not the answer at this place.
Yeah, man, here's what I think.
You see where I'm coming from?
I do, and I just think eventually you're going to lose. You're going to lose one of these guys eventually. It's just the reality. Like, you're going to lose somebody out of this group. It's just a matter of who and when and how it all takes form, because they're not all going to stick around. And it gets a lot busier with Carr and then Deuce. And those guys have a higher ceiling.
If for some reason that the grad transfer doesn't come through and everybody's higher on Minchie than they are on Angeli, does Angeli leave? Now you're 2 scholarship quarterbacks.
Man.
Now I get it next year whenever Deuce comes in. I get that. And then maybe this preferred walk-on they picked up that's supposed to enroll next year will also help.
Yeah, Rezak.
Situation a little bit.
Did I lose you?
No, I'm still here. You there?
Yeah, I got you. It's going to be complicated, man. And you got to try and have like you kind of got to have a plan about you want this to go. But you're not going to keep all these guys. Somebody's going to leave. And the other dynamic is, how do you feel if you're putting in your time at Notre Dame as a quarterback, trying to do all that, and then right when it gets about to be your time to truly compete, they drop another older guy in off the transfer thing that kind of jumps you? How do you feel? Does that make you feel like crap, or does it energize you to compete? Or do you get frustrated because you're like, every time I have a chance to get more reps to prove myself, they drop another guy in that jumps me, and I've been here paying my dues, putting in the time. I wonder behind the scenes what those guys feel like when that happens. I just do. And it happened to Buckner. Same idea kind of happened to Buckner. And now he's coming back to play lacrosse. Every road lead back to South Bend.
They got to believe that the coaching staff has no faith in them. I mean, that was part of the reason. Situation. I mean, especially when you look at what happened to Styles last year.
Yeah.
Very similar to what some of these guys are saying. Again, I don't want to get into that. Let me jump subject on you a little bit. I wanted to ask you, what were your thoughts on the offensive performance by Bama and UGA?
I mean, the offensive performance, I don't know. It was nice to see a game that wasn't like up in the 30s or 40s. I kind of respected the fact that it was a little lower scoring in a way. I liked that part of it. Just see it not be a high scoring thing. I like that.
The reason I bring that up is that was the first 5 defense UGA had played all season.
Yeah.
And it was only the second one Bama had played all season when Notre Dame had played 4.
Man, that's interesting. Yeah. And you look
at the reason I brought.
Yeah. And man, listen, I often complain about the 39 points a game overall, but then the 19 points against the team, the good teams you're referencing that have really good defenses. And I don't know I know you're not going to score as many points against the good defenses. I just also think that Notre Dame still should have found a way to get more accomplished. I don't need 39, but you got to do better than 19 and produce more.
I'll disagree with that as far as that goes. But and another question is I'm curious why so many people are so high on Bama whenever 10 days ago they needed a 4th and goal from the 32 with less than 30 seconds to win a game against a 6-6 team.
How about this? Here's a reason to be high on Bama. Best coach in the game, 5-star talent everywhere. There you go, man. Like, I could default to that. I would default to that. Like, you have the emperor of the game on the sideline, and there's nobody better at preparing for a playoff game in this layoff time than he would be. And then I know you got 5-star dudes in depth everywhere. That would make me feel good.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, buddy. Let's be honest here. I also hate Michigan, so I'm really, really wanting Alabama to deliver on this one, okay? Let me be fully open about it.
You're 100% there.
Yeah.
100%. Also on the bowl game, and I haven't seen this, maybe some other people have. I know a lot of OSU have a lot of, or Oregon State. I don't want to say OSU, I guess. Oregon State have a lot of people that are opting out, but it tends to me, from what I've seen, it's all on the offensive side of the ball. And yet they have, maybe a top 40 defense, to where most of those guys are still in as far as I can.
It's going to be really interesting. And especially you're going to have a different quarterback, and then you're not going to have your regular O-line. I'm really intrigued to see what Notre Dame can accomplish on offense, because they're going to be challenged. They're already challenged enough with all their personnel. Now you're not going to have it all. So I don't know what you're going to get.
What's your thoughts then? Let's say, for instance, we get Riley Leonard.
Yeah.
Do you think he fits better into Parker and Freeman's vision on the offense than maybe Hartman did? Because obviously, Reese wanted Hartman. He left, and then Parker, I don't want to say that, you're stuck with Hartman, because I firmly believe Hartman was a hell of a quarterback. Maybe not at Notre Dame.
Here's why I say yes. Goolsby was talking about this when we were recording the other night for Patreon. He was saying John Parker's going to be a better OC with Riley Leonard because of his mobility, and Parker likes that, and Hartman did not really provide that to the extent Riley can as a dual threat runner. That's going to open things up, and Parker would like that more and give him more flexibility. And so he's thinking that alone might help open up that offense a lot, because Leonard is legitimately way more mobile, and you could use that as an advantage.
Well, I mean, when you look back, I guess Deuce Knight is probably the first recruit for Parker.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It connects to that. It connects with that. They would like the idea to be able to see some of the stuff they could run with Riley Leonard with Deuce Knight in mind. With him in mind. That guy is the one that they all want to hit. He is the kind of athlete Notre Dame does not have at quarterback in the last 30 years. Like, he's that guy as far as his physical gifts. And that's going to be exciting. He is a different style of athlete, one that we do not get here at quarterback, and it should be really fun.
I want to leave you with one story that I had heard before Thanksgiving, and I listened to, even though I'm in Georgia, I listened to WSBT, the radio show on, Budweiser Sports Beat or something on the way home. They were talking to a kid that was the recruiting analyst at South Bend Tribune from 17 to 21. I think he got fired during COVID or something like that. And now he's at A&M doing the same thing. And he was mentioning about J.J. McCarthy and a discussion he had with him. And basically McCarthy told him that if Notre Dame offered, he would walk to South Bend. But instead, Tommy Rees wanted Buckner.
Yeah, that was his guy, man. That was his guy. And he liked the mobility and all that. Like, that was his dude.
I just wanted to pass that along. Hey, I appreciate you taking the time to let the callers vent, have their say, and hope you get to feeling better soon, brother.
Hey, thank you. I really appreciate it, man. Good call. Give me a call again, and you take care, all right? Thank you very much. What a nice guy. Tom, what's going on? And I got my Ohio guy and 419 after that. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning. I'm just trying to make sense of what's been happening in the last week or so with the transfer portal and everything.
It's
and
a lot, Tom. Tom, it's a lot to wrap your mind around.
Focus on it because I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We don't know who's coming in, or if they do come in, are they going to be successful? I think what Freeman needs to do is treat this bowl season like a spring training for spring training. I mean, I think they have to circle the wagons, and I what I don't hear a lot is what the dynamic is between Freeman and Al Golden because of Al Golden's head coaching experience. I think they have to have a come to Jesus meeting in that coaching office and figure out what's going to be the vision for the offense. Where are they going to go? You know, and you know, without that, we're just kind of grasping at straws, trying to figure out what the direction of this team is. You know, one of the things that I was encouraged about was the Xavier Watts thing, winning the Nagurski Trophy, and him sticking around. That shows me that Freeman has the ability to evaluate talent and put a kid in the right position. But I just don't know
what else, Tom? You know what else I love
doing on the offensive side, and that's what my question is. What do you think that dynamic is? Is he leaning on, because you know you got Parker, you know, with very little experience as an offensive coordinator, and with all the transfer portal stuff. I mean, this is new to a lot of coaches, even experienced coaches.
Yeah, here's what I don't know. And I went through this in my mind last week. Tell me if you did too. When all that news was coming fast and furious and all those rumors, and then every day it was a rumor, 2 more guys are leaving, no one wants to be here, all that crap. I struggled to know, is there a deeper plan here where like some of it, like we know what's going on. Freeman knows what he's going to try and do and expect some of this. And when it's a surprise to us, but they have a plan of what they're doing, or is it spiraling a little out of control to where you knew you were going to lose some guys, but you lost more? And how do you stop the bleeding and then make up for it? Like, I just don't know where Freeman's at. Like I don't know if that all took him by surprise, or like if he anticipated some of this and it was just a surprise to us. It feels like a bigger shock to us. Like, what's going on in this program? Does no one want to play offense for Notre Dame anymore? I just don't know what that reality was behind the scenes. But I will say this. Freeman seems like he's got a different gear in the portal. It kind of comes off to me like the guy's pissed off that things aren't where he wants it to be. And he knows, unlike Johnny, who just writes about it and bitches about it in his basement, he needs to get out there and make moves. And they seem really intense on this grind on the portal and everything else. And that makes me feel good. That's the only way out of this, is to work their asses off as a staff. And it looks like they're doing it.
Well, and that's why I think it's so vitally important not to, you know, they have to take this bowl game practice and experience into the spring and say, okay, now, especially on the quarterback side, I don't know if you know, we'll find out probably by tomorrow, the latest, what Riley Leonard's going to do.
Yeah.
But I think you have to have a bona fide quarterback competition in the spring.
Yeah.
That will solidify Angeli and Minchie for at least one more year. You know, it's not going to hurt either one of them to stick around for Notre Dame for one more year. And, you know, let's face facts. I mean, he's a little injury prone. We don't know what he's going to do bouncing back from that bad ankle injury. And he is a running quarterback. And, you know, you can't have, you know, like the one caller said, then if Angeli were to transfer or Minchie, then you're down to a 2-quarterback room again. And he can't have that.
Yeah.
So I think it's vitally important that he's got to lean on Golden's experience as a head coach, and they got to figure out what they're going to do. I mean, you look at the offensive backs. I was so sad to see who was the back that transferred? Jeremiah? Did Jeremiah leave?
I don't think so. Did I miss that?
Okay. Well,
there was rumors. There was rumors, and I saw tweets that he was leaving, but I did not see that became official. But I did see tweets, but it's hard to determine who's making stuff up just to get everybody worked up.
So I understand, you know, you're losing a big back like that in estimate, but the bevy of backs that they have, including that kid in Anais Williams that's coming in
Oh yeah.
is supposed to be a stud.
Yep.
So you've got you've got the nucleus of an offense that could produce. It's just got to be able to put the whole thing together. But his lack of vision scares me. Did you happen to catch? Did you see where Indiana University hired Curt Cignetti as the head coach?
Yes, I did.
Did you see his press conference?
No.
It was unbelievable. His introduction, and I would implore you to go look at it. There's a coach that was a recruiting coach and assistant coach for Saban. He's 62 years old taking a head job. But it was very telling. This guy gets on there and he's got a vision. I by the time I got done listening to him, I wanted to run through a wall for this guy.
Yeah.
And this is what Notre Dame's mean. I know a lot of fans are going to give Freeman a mulligan for this past year, and but he has got to figure it out. He's got to figure out that vision. Otherwise, none of this stuff means anything.
Yeah.
And the coach that they hired, Cignetti, was asked about the transfer portal and NIL and all of that stuff, and he said, "Look, we're still trying to figure it out." And he's been coaching for 40 years.
Yeah.
With his experience.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think there's too many things that we don't know, and let's see what happens in this bowl season. I think it's vitally important. I think the game is more important than people think it is. I know it's a snooze fest for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I'm actually looking forward to it so that we've got something to talk about come blue gold game.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. And speaking of the blue and gold game, I did get your email. I will give you a call off the air so we can talk about some of the stuff that we could get cooking for that. So I did get your email. I will give you a call. Been a rough last day. I'll give you a call. And,
I'm sure. I didn't expect to hear back from you.
Yeah, but soon, I just know that I owe you a call. Let me ask you this, Tom. I love the way you think through football. Let me ask you this. If we're going to do the thing where we're running it back and Parker's going to be here and we all, whether you like that or don't like that, if we just accept that that's the reality and he's coming back, here's my question. I don't know, how much better do you expect him to get as a play caller, game planner from the first year into year two? I don't know what's fair to expect, but it needs to be a lot. And I don't know how much of that has to do with if you get the quarterback in that's more mobile, it opens up everything you could do times two because you can run the quarterback and make the defense worry about that. I'm struggling to realize what would be a good gauge of how to expect improvement from him in that area. And because there needs to be a big jump. I'm just struggling with how to get there.
No, I know. No, and that's the thing. I mean, look, we know how vitally important the quarterback position is. I mean, look what happened to Florida State. Jesus Christ. Yeah. I mean, so they got to figure it out. Let's find out who that stud is. That's why I think the best way they're going to have to go about this is open up. He can't, like Dr. John said, you can't promise Riley Leonard a starting job. These kids they have to have a gamble in this too. I understand they're going through the transfer portal, and he's leaving a wonderful university like Duke to come to a great university like Notre Dame. So the education part of it for him, it's pretty much, he's got that figured out. But he's gambling a little bit too, and you got to put that pressure on him. I mean, look. Terry Hanratty's a friend of mine. We were talking about this. When he was at Notre Dame, he had to compete. Joe Theismann had to compete. Goddamn, Joe Montana was a sixth-string quarterback when he came in.
Yeah.
They all competed. Competition is a wonderful thing. And these kids, you got to stop babying these kids.
But the problem is,
I understand that they
but
they got the power.
You gotta it's so different now because now you want
I
to
know it is.
you want to get in that portal game and get the best guy, but the money isn't enough. They want to know they're the starter. That's the issue. They want to know they're the starter. So then you're in a bad spot. You want to improve your roster, but they're like, I want to play too. I want to have the inside track as a starter.
Yeah,
Tom, I'm hearing
that's fundamentally wrong.
I'm hearing that came into play with Ohio State with McCord. McCord and his dad were furious because Ryan Day told them we're going into the portal to bring in some quarterback competition. And then they got mad and they were like, no, I'm the incumbent starter. So if you don't respect me as starter, I'm out of here. And now he's out of here. But Ryan Day said, I'm going to the portal, see if I can bring in a guy. And they didn't like that. You got to navigate all of this stuff. Being a college coach is not what it's cracked up to be. I'd have a nervous breakdown, all the shit I got to worry about every day.
No, it's hard enough as it is. When we add that element. And look, I mean, a lot of these kids aren't even 21 years of age yet.
Yeah.
And how many, look at all the shitty decisions we made at that age.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this is a big deal. And I think that's where, like Saban has talked about, the negative things he talked about the portal early on before the season started this year. You're still going to have to develop high school kids. That's where the gold is.
Yeah.
And, and we know Notre Dame is a unique place. It really is.
Yeah.
It has so many different dynamics. I'd like to find out. I'd like to hear what Tyler Buckner would have to say. Here's a guy that leaves Notre Dame to go to Alabama and go through that whole rigmarole. And then he gets on campus where there's a hell of a lot more freedom and a lot less rigorous, rigorous, things put on him. He's got to go to class and all that stuff. And then he's willing to come back to Notre Dame. Most kids his age wouldn't do that. They're like, well, no, I know what Notre Dame's about.
Yeah.
Especially the social aspects and the girls and things like that.
Yeah.
These are the things they have to have serious conversations with these kids' parents and the high school coaches. They have to vet these kids something fierce.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you just can't legislate the kids' minds, especially with the NIL and the portal now.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Tom, a few years ago, this was being mentioned. College teams using one of their support staff roles that they're allotted for what they would call a roster GM. And it was kind of laughed at a few years ago of like, oh, then, what are you doing? That it's not the pro game or whatever. Totally makes sense now. Somebody to navigate all of that portal stuff, work the numbers, figure out what you're going to need, go behind the scenes to see who might be interested, who might not be. I don't know. It's a wild thing. But I like the nuts and bolts of Notre Dame's team is going to be the natural recruits. Right? Like that's going to be the base and the nuts and bolts. It's not going to be like Dion or any of that where the whole team is transfers. The nuts and bolts have to be your grown home recruits. Then can Notre Dame get in a way where like, instead of like we're losing guys and we need to add them, can we find a way to get to where we're adding the final cherries on top to make us a more complete team? Instead of replacing guys just to get to level ground. Do you get what I'm saying? Can Notre Dame work this? Can Notre Dame work it to a point where it's upgrading in the few spots they have left to get into the next year and really be rolling rather than to feel like you're losing guys and gaining them just to get back to level footing? Does that make sense?
It does totally, especially with the quarterback situation. I think, you look at the, next year's schedule, and I think if they can come in, I don't know who's going to win the job. We don't know what's going to happen, but you've got after Texas A&M, you got 4 games that should be W's, automatic W's, and that's where you find out who your quarterback is, and that's going to lead the whole thing. You got to, and then going forward after that, so then you'll have. The following year, TJ Carr is a sophomore. And then you've got Deuce Knight coming in. So then I think it's on an upward trajectory, but we won't know. Next year's a pivotal year for Freeman. And if he shits the bed next year, he's in trouble.
Now,
he's in real trouble.
Tom, this is getting heavy, brother, because look at that defense, Tom. You are replacing a lot of defensive players here. And now, and that is a little dangerous. And you start out with a very high profile, tough game right out of the gates. There is a lot on the line, man. And it's year 3. And we all know that Notre Dame coaching history of what year 3 should be and is.
Yeah.
And then you also have the new playoff. And it's very important to me that the first time we roll this format out, I want to be a part of it from the beginning and playing our flag. And they're like, get used to that Notre Dame leprechaun in this damn thing every year. I want to be in the first damn one, Tom. I don't know why that matters to me, but the first experiment of this, I want us to be in it, damn it.
I know. I do too. They got to crawl before they can walk. So let's hope they can get to the bowl game and play well and give us some hope for the spring and then open up the doors and then get ready for Texas A&M. I just think there's enough talent there. There's a nucleus. I can't wait to see these young linebackers. I can't wait to see Bowen and Snead and Ellsbury get in there. And you got Ben Morrison coming back. That's huge.
Yeah, and you know what else too?
That'll probably.
Hey, I think KVA is going to play early next year, and I think it's not just going to be out of necessity. He's going to earn it because I think he's that freak of an athlete. That kid's going to be running around side to side, cracking skulls, and I'm here for it.
Yes. I think so too. So there's some upside here. Let's just if the coaching staff can get everything together and find that vision, then we got some hope. But if it's by game 3 or 4 next year, we're gonna know. Yeah. We'll know by game 3 or 4 next year.
Tom,
and if it's still in disarray, then God help Marcus Freeman. That's all I can tell you.
I know I'm dramatic, and it's a part of my presentation, and all the theatrics I do. Like, it's a part of my natural personality that makes it work on an entertaining, video product. I'm not exaggerating. There's a lot on the line next year. Like, it is a big deal what this team looks like in year 3. And it's lining up with a weird time with the roster, flipping over a lot. You gotta make it all work. Like, they gotta find a way to tighten it up. That's what I've been thinking. Marcus, I need you to just tighten it up a little bit. Like pull it together and tighten it up a little bit. Big year, man. It's a big year. And there's no Tom, there's no runway. You don't have Navy, Tennessee State, blah, blah, blah. Then you get to a big. It's week 1 in SEC country. Woo, I know, baby. Woo.
I know. And that, that they'll probably make that a night game and that place will be rocking. And but that's the reason why these kids go to Notre Dame, to playing games like that.
Yeah.
So hopefully, like I said, they can have it. But then again, we don't know when you look at their schedule. You can't look at the next year's schedule and like we used to and say, okay, there's start projecting because of I think the national average is a 30% turnover on every Power 5 team.
Yeah. With
the transfer portal. So you don't know what the hell's going to be like until you get 3 or 4 games deep in the season. So I don't know. We'll see. But
it's going to be wild. Hey, Tom, thank you for the call, man. It's gold every time you call. You always bring up good stuff, passionate. Even your phone line's crystal clear. Like, you're an A+ caller, buddy. I love it. I love it. You got from a production angle, like, you hit all the bases I'm looking for, man. Clear line, good thoughts, like a little edge to you, but really well thought out. I love it. And then I will give you a call about the Blue and Gold tailgate. We're going to have ourselves some fun. And I love the idea that you're going to be a part of it. So we're going to get Pat out there. We're going to have the whole group. It's going to be fun again, man. So I'll give you a call. We'll plan it out.
I'll bring the Shannon Rovers Irish Pipe Band with me from Chicago too. We'll have some fun.
Oh man, let's crank it up. So we'll get those plans going. Thank you for the call, man. Good job as always.
Thanks, John. We'll see you, buddy. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. You know who he sounds like? You guys say John Madden. Anybody in the Chicago market, if you're in the Chicago area, you know who he sounds like to me? Brad Biggs, the Bears reporter that's always on the score in the mornings. His voice sounds, his delivery is just like Brad Biggs of the Trib that covers the Bears. I honestly thought it was him for the voice. Sounds just like it. 937 up next, 419 after that. 937, what's going on? You got a little instability there in Ohio. What the hell's going on up there? What's going on?
John, I'll tell you what. I will tell you what. I think all sides are in agreement with Ohio State and McCord.
Yeah.
I think everybody kind of wished that he would have entered at least I did. I wanted him to enter the portal to get away from the team. I didn't want him to be on the team. He was definitely the weak spot this year, and I'm happy he's leaving, in all honesty.
Now, did you always think that, or did you think that once it happened, you were like, yeah, it needs to happen? Or did you honestly think that this just ain't the guy that could do what we need before?
So, you know how in the Notre Dame game, there were several passes that he threw on that last drive that you could have intercepted?
Yes.
But then he made some
you know what, buddy? Yes, I do remember it because it's been my living nightmare all freaking fall. I remember every one of them.
Yep. Well, he's like that all season, and he never got any better. And when we played Michigan, his really stupid throws are what cost him. He got really lucky in the Penn State game. I don't know if you remember if you watched that or not, but in the Penn State game, he goes back and he's so lucky they called a pass interference down the field because he threw a ball right to a Penn State defensive lineman and he's being sacked.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy was just a turnover away.
Can I tell you what I didn't like?
No pocket awareness.
Can I tell you what I didn't like? And when I know you're going to know what I'm referencing. And when I heard it, I didn't like it. And I'm a Notre Dame guy. I don't like Michigan or Ohio State. When they were asking him about the lead up to that game, and he just said, whatever, going to be a good game. But then he says, but at the end of the day, it's just one game, or it's just another game. I don't think that's what Ohio State people wanted to hear. Is their quarterback leading into that game saying, at the end of the day, it's just another game? No, it is not. No, it is not. And Michigan certainly doesn't feel like it is either. That's the point where I went, ooh, does this guy have the right mentality for this kind of dynamic? I do not like either school. No. Hearing that guy say, at the end of the day, it's just another game. No, that was the point where I was like, the Ohio State people ain't going to like that. So now what's your plan? What are you going to do now?
Well, I think our plan is to go into the portal and find the best guy that they can. A couple names that are out there, probably the guy that Ryan really wants is the kid out of Washington State.
Yeah.
He is a lot more dynamic and is a pinpoint passer. He does have some fumble issues, but he was running for his life back there.
What about the backup? What about the backup that was competing with McCord for the starting job? So, is he going to be in the mix, or is he out, or what's the deal?
So we have a similar situation that you guys have, where going into the bowl game, where he's going to get his I guess time to shine and prove to people that he can actually do it. And I'll be honest, I love this guy's attitude. Our backup's attitude is he's the guy, he actually commands a room. Kyle McCord could not command a room. But if you listen to the backup he could command a room and was super, his talking ability was just really great.
Man,
and,
are we being jerks? like, are we being jerks? But I really look at McCord sometimes and I'm like, I don't know if he has that little edge deep in him that you need to do that.
No.
Like, but I don't know if that's fair. But I can't argue with it against Notre Dame. He drove down and won the game in the last drive, and he got away with that, what should have been a pick. But there is a part of me that goes, is this guy mentally have the edge enough that you need to do the whole Ohio State thing and stick it to Michigan? And he almost seems a little too kind of calm and like low key. Something just felt a little
that's
off.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Something just felt like there isn't that extra gear that those guys have. And I don't know if that's fair or not.
No, that is 100% fair. And I think everybody noticed it. Now, during the season, it's funny listening to the commentators are like, well, he is just, he's got ice in his veins. But, I think Buckeye Nation and the fans were like, this guy just has he's just, I don't know, limp-wristed out there. It's just ridiculous. So he just had no heart. So just looking at the future here, though, for both of our teams, it's kind of interesting seeing all your wide receivers leave. And I'm hearing some rumors out there that one of ours left, and he might be headed your way. Let's see here. Fleming. He might be headed your way. So,
hey, we're in the market. We're in the market, man. You want to be a receiver? Yeah. We got plenty of space for you because the whole shelf got opened.
He's a good blocker, but he's been kind of a little bit hit or miss on the passing aspect of it. Now this year, obviously having a not as good of a quarterback as the year before, but he's decent. He'll improve your room, I think, if he goes there.
Yeah.
And then really quick, looking at the quarterback situation, one kid that I think he might be a diamond in the rough, and I would be really happy if Ohio State even picked him up, is the kid from Toledo. He was the MAC quarterback of the year, and that kid is dynamic. I remember seeing Ohio State play him a couple of years ago, and I think I called you after the game and said, man, Notre Dame needs to go after this guy just 90 miles east of you.
Yeah.
On 80-90 there.
Hey, do you want to know?
That guy, he is super quick.
Yeah. You want to know something? We ended up really appreciating Jean Baptiste. He really ended up being a really solid player for Notre Dame. You knew he was going to get after the passer off the edge. He improved a lot in the run game too. He was ended up being a very solid player for Notre Dame, and we're glad we got him. He worked out great for us on that one. So I want to ask you, where do you feel Ohio State is right now? It feels like you're in a little more flux than you're used to being, and things aren't exactly going as planned, and Day's kind of navigating some newer waters. And I don't, that's just my inclination from the outside, but it's just kind of a weird dynamic around Ohio State given how the year ended.
Yeah. I kind of feel like, next year is Ryan's big year. And if he can't beat Michigan, then then his job is he's probably going to move on. And even if he has an unbelievable record, I just feel like the pressure will be too much from the fan base. But as far as what it feels like now, it does feel like Ryan Day has an edge to him, and I think I like that. I will say, in the recruiting, we lost Aaron Scott, or not Aaron Scott, the Scott kid out of Illinois to Miami.
You know what, man? What a waste! What a waste of me having a stroke on 4th of July weekend, man. I'll never forget. I was at a 4th of July party. They were lighting off fireworks. John's relaxing, and then boom, I get a dozen text messages telling me, you're not getting Justin Scott. He's going to Ohio State. I had a stroke over all that for nothing. Damn it.
Yeah, well, he's going to Miami. I hear it's $4 million is what that seems outrageous.
God, that's
so
wild.
I think maybe Ohio State avoided one there. I don't know. Maybe that kid is not really about football getting to the next level. I'm not really sure. So, but you can just replace kids out of the transfer portal now. My only thing is that I think, 9 times out of 10, it's cheaper to get them when they're freshmen but you're going to have to pay a pretty penny to get a good pass rusher in this transfer portal today.
Yeah.
So
yeah, man.
Hey, real quick, John,
before
really
I let you go.
Sure. Hey, you got to send me your address, or I know you don't want to send it to me because I'm a Buckeye fan. Just send me Pat's address, and I'll send him 2 letters. How about that?
No, that's what I'll do. I'm going to say that Pat's address is mine, and then if the package doesn't explode in his mailbox, then I'll give you mine. How about that? No.
Exactly.
No,
exactly,
I get all backed up on my emails, and I know I have yours flat. Pat's in here going, WTF? Yeah. We're going to test it out on Pat's house first. No, I'll get back to you right away. I got to email Tom back something, and I got to email Dr. John back something too. I'm behind. I'll get to it. That's actually really nice of you, man. I'll get you that.
Okay, sounds good. And have a good one. Everybody buy the merch.
Thank you. I appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
Bye.
Take care. Dude, everybody's like, John, that guy's ripping on you. He's playing you like your buddies or whatever. He literally emails me like, I want to put you on my Christmas card list with my family and friends. Like, the guy's not a bad guy. You all got to just realize he likes Ohio State, but he likes this show. I don't know what to tell you. 419, you're up on the line. Let's have a good time. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? I got a couple of things. I'm going to try to stay positive.
Let's see how long that lasts. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm with a couple calls back. I'm with right on track with Tom with a lot of the stuff that he said. But like somehow, some way, I feel like I'm getting more and more excited for the Fun Bowl, which sounds embarrassing saying it out loud.
It makes sense, though. If you look at the situation we're in and all the moving dynamics and the bowl we're in, who it's against, all the problems they have, all the problems and changes we have, it all falls in your lap to where you go, this is all jacked up anyways, the hell with it. I want to see our young guys play and let it rip and you win the game. And I don't know any other way to look at it. How else can you approach this with all these circumstances, what they are?
Oh, yeah. And there's multiple stretches this year where, I mean, it was hard to watch Notre Dame play. So at least this is something different. Who's going to play, how they're going to look. And they've been, doing a lot of the same shit the whole year with, variable results depending on the competition. So
Can I ask you this? Are you starting to feel a little better now, a week after all that drama of everybody leaving and all the rumors, and everybody was leaving, but nobody was coming? Now that we're on the other side of that, and it looks like we're getting some guys that do want to come to Notre Dame, are you feeling a little better about things, or is it still kind of just this awkward, uncomfortable? Because that's where I've been at the last week.
I feel like when you kept seeing the tweets of the players, it was a little scary. And then after everything settled, I mean, it kind of feels like Freeman's been doing a good job managing this portal business, because I feel like now it's almost like being a GM of a professional team where, unless you're like Georgia and Alabama and winning big, like every player used to just recruit once coming in, and now I feel like you got to recruit them, 2, 3, 4 times afterwards, just to stay if they're any good.
You know what, man?
That's
the other thing. That's the other thing. I heard an Ohio State podcaster talk about this, saying it isn't just like you got to pay to get these guys in the portal to come to you, but now it's you got to pay the guys already on your roster because they're going, what the hell are you going to give somebody else all this money to come here? I've been here. I want money too. So you got to re-recruit them and make sure they're happy with the guys in-house too. I'm telling you, this job of being a college football coach is a pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah. And I imagine there's multiple players on the team now that, people are trying to steal. Like, Jeremiah Love, like he's got to be getting every team in the country trying to steal that guy away.
Oh man, he's going to be so good. And I saw the rumors that he was going to leave, but I have not seen that announced at all. I saw rumors of it and I haven't heard a word since. So I'm assuming he's safe.
Yeah, and that's another thing I'm excited for, because if Sam and Audric play in the bowl game, I feel like we're watching, their NFL tryout, and it's more for them than us. Where, if Love gets a bunch of touches, we can kind of see what's what, and maybe he can kind of see, what he's returning back.
Yeah.
Towards next year. So, my wife always says I sound so depressed when I call. So I'm like, well, I'm going to think of a couple positive things. So I'm trying to stay positive.
Dude, you crack me up. You show it in your voice. I could just hear it's your voice. Like I could just tell where you're at by the tone. And it's so genuine that it makes me more depressed half the time. But like, I love it because it's real. And like, you'll just call in and I could just hear the pain. This stuff's so real for so many of us, man. It's so real. And it will not make sense to anybody else. You're either in that or you're not, and it's who you are, you're not. And I gave up a long time ago trying to explain this whole thing to people that don't get it. Like, this stuff means the world to us. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, and I've been getting lit up on Twitter lately with DMs and comments on like a lot of my videos, and I'm like lighting up like it's just supposed to be funny.
Yeah. And here's what people need to understand. Sometimes that's just how people cope. When you're so frustrated or upset, you make a little video there to laugh at and it lightens it. Like everybody has their way of doing things, but I've noticed when something bad happens, you'll flip it and go to the humor to like laugh at us rather than cry at us. Like who the hell's anybody else to tell anybody how to process this shit?
Yeah. So anyways, I think there's a reason to be excited for the Sun Bowl, and
somebody just
drunk
Vigo just put in the chat, ND football is a terminal illness.
Yeah, there's something to that. I
know. I want to know how many decades off all of our lifespans Notre Dame football has caused us each in totality, man. It's so stressful, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it's wild. I'm looking forward to the Sun Bowl, looking forward to the tailgate. And can't wait to hear the details on that.
That's the other thing. You got to get there for that blue and gold tailgate. It's such an easier day because it's low key. There's not 100,000 people. You don't have to pay to park. You just get there and casually park and party and go in. It's going to be fun, man. So you guys should try and go.
Yeah, we'll be there. We got there too late at Central Michigan, and I was kind of pissed about all that.
Yeah, but you know what?
Family.
I wasn't pissed about it because you hand-delivered me this fine neck piece that I wear every day. I wasn't disappointed about it. You showed up right in time and delivered the goods, baby.
Yeah, what are you going to do if we lose the bowl game? You got to go all off-season with that getting dusty.
I have been thinking about that. Am I allowed to overrule myself and call it a clean slate for the off season, or do I have to honor, that's a long time for me to go without any bling bling. That's a long time for me to go, man.
Yeah, you might have to put that up for vote.
Yeah, I might have to put it up for vote. Blue and gold tickets are dirt cheap, right? They're like $10, man. Sit anywhere you want. They're like $10. Yeah. It's cheap as hell. Yeah. Really easy to get to. Parking's free. It's like it's a great way to have low key Notre Dame day. You just hope the weather isn't garbage. Last year it was sunny, it was raining, it was snowing, it was sleeting, it was windy. We had a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you don't know what you're gonna get when you buy the tickets. You just hope you're not going to be miserable.
Yeah, the good news is if they're $10 and it's so shitty out, big deal. You lose a 20 spot if you decide not to go. So, but that'll be the next chance to get in there, have a new feel, a new vibe, a new team, maybe a new quarterback, and it's a clean slate palate cleanser. I'm already looking forward to it.
Totally agree. Thanks for taking my call.
No problem, man. Keep up the good work with your humor. I respect and love the way you process Notre Dame pain through sarcasm and humor. It's great. I love it.
Thanks. Love the show.
Thank you. Have a good one. That's Mark with glasses. He's the one who delivered the chain at the Central game to me. He makes some of the funny videos that I post on the shorts. Like, he does a lot of stuff for me. Great guy, good family. Nick Dean had a blast at the Blue and Gold game. Hell yeah, man, that was fun. It was fun as hell. And it's like, it's just low-key Notre Dame fun. It's football, but without all the stress. It's beautiful. I love the Blue and Gold thing. Geez, look at this. What is this? Hate to break it to you, Always Irish, but the Sun Bowl is presented by Tony the Tiger. I know. Don't do this to me, Fred. I already don't feel great. We're winding down the show here. Here's what I don't like. I don't like that Notre Dame is in bowl games that are gimmicks. Oh, it might be the Pop-Tart Bowl where it's a live Pop-Tart mascot that the winning coach gets to eat, and every player breaks off a piece of a Pop-Tart. Not interested. And then the game we ended up in, they pulled our name out of a sombrero hat to determine if we were going to this game or that game. Bro, that is low-key shit. It's just low. It's low impact stuff. I have no interest in being in a cereal bowl. I have no interest in being in a Pop-Tart game. I have no interest in being in Brian Kelly's Super Bowl, known as the Camping World Bowl. I'm not trying to be like disrespectful, but this is like low rent shit. I'm sorry, it just is. I want to be in bowl games that matter, not one where you pull the name out of the hat to see which of the remaining low-level bowl games you're going to. Forgive me that I think more of Notre Dame than that. It's just, I'm sorry, man, but once I saw that Pop-Tart on Twitter with his big bug eyes, and if you win it, you get to eat the Pop-Tart, dude, decline the bowl game. Fuck it. Decline the bowl game. Practice in a field. Oh, you can't deny a bowl game because what about the 3 weeks of practice? Tell everybody to just go in a field and practice off the record, Dad. Jesus. And I get it. It genuinely was heartwarming to see that bowl committee cry because they got Notre Dame. Did you see the video? That old boy was crying. We got Notre Dame and the economic impact of that area when you have Notre Dame involved. I'm really happy for them. That guy was crying. He was so happy they pulled Notre Dame out of the hat. Like, good for you, but I don't want to be there anyways. Good for you, but I have bigger goals than that. That you pulled out. Yeah, it was touching, I know, but I don't want to be touched in that way. It was touching. Yeah, I know it was. Unwanted touching. I want to be in a game that matters. That stupid Pop-Tart all over Twitter. Oh, look at me. I'm a 6-foot rectangle pastry with googly eyes. And if you win the game, you get to eat me. I don't want to eat you. I want to win a bowl game that matters. I want to be in a bowl game where the needle moves. All right. That's going to be it. I'm going to go take some medicine and write an article about the bowl game now that we're on this road. I really thank everybody for being here today. Chats are amazing. Good bank of callers. Thank you for the donations. The numbers have gone back up a little bit. It's messed up to me. It's really messed up. The All-State Sugar Bowl, at least it's still the Sugar Bowl. At least it's still the Sugar Bowl. What I'm saying is, Tex ND, come on, man. You got a shirt heading your way, by the way. Tex ND, be on the lookout. Merry Christmas. I owe you. I don't even know what I was going to say. Never mind. Good place to end the show. I love all of you. Thanks for being here. Oh, this is what I was going to say. I was going to be mad. The last couple weeks of the season when we're playing games, the numbers hit the shitter. And now that the season's over and all this other drama, the numbers go back up. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. That upsets me, you guys. It shouldn't be that way. After the season, numbers go back up when everybody's leaving and all. It shouldn't be that way. The whole thing is just below where I need Notre Dame to be. If it was Tony the Tiger Sugar Bowl, would you feel better? The old Tony the Tiger. Now I'm going to have this bowl game and a dumb tiger over there. Rawr, oh, I'm Tony the Tiger. Eat this cereal. We're in a game nobody cares about. I need Notre Dame to be involved in shit that matters. I'm just losing my... You think I sit here in this dungeon basement? I'm like Rudy, sleeping in a dungeon 6 nights a week, climbing in the window. You think I'm doing all this for Notre Dame to end up in games that don't matter all the time? It's just... I want us to be involved in bigger picture things. Okay? Not Tony the Tiger. Not an edible Pop-Tart. Not the Camping World Bowl where I got my Snuggie on. Ooh, I'm in a Camping World Bowl. Look at my tent. Be in shit that matters. Be in shit that matters. All right. Everybody have a good day. See ya.